You said there are 6 duties.
Yes. A board's 6th duty is so obvious I'm almost embarrassed to mention it. Yet it is often neglected. The board completes the cycle of its duties by reporting back to the members. This is necessary both to inform the members and to make real the accountability the board has to the members. How this is done varies according to the organization. Community-based organizations can do it in person, sometimes in connection with an annual meeting. National or international organizations resort to written reports. In either case, reports must be factual and honest. This is tested in a difficult year or in a disappointing experience. Attempts to cover up are unwise not only because they are dishonest, but even more because they permit an organization to live with pretense and deceit. The public is better able to accept disappointment than deceit. I have seen failures or misunderstandings handled so well that they end up building trust. This is another area where nonprofits can learn from for-profit organizations who address their reports to their stockholders. The nonprofit equivalent is to address reports to the members or stakeholders, although I rarely see this done. However it is done, before a board can consider its work completed, it must report back to the members to whom it is ultimately accountable.
As I understand it, boards are expected to do 6 things. Let's see. Number 1, state the purpose for which the organization exists. Number 2, put a plan in place by which the purpose is achieved. 3, delegate responsibility for plan implementation together with instructions. 4, provide the human and material resources needed to implement the plan. 5, monitor and evaluate. Is it having the desired result? Outcomes. 6, give an accounting of its stewardship to the members.
Excellent. You got them all. These 6 functions a board must do itself, not by delegation. And to be successful, it must do them consistently, year after year. Consistency is the test of a good organization.
Which of these 6 duties is the most important?
It is not a matter of which is most important. Like the links of a proverbial chain, they are all important. I can, however, identify the 2 that are most often neglected. The first one is planning. Most boards have a general sense of what the members expect them to accomplish. Few boards make a serious effort at planning, and by that I mean how they're going to get there. Even fewer do it well. Most are so locked into their status quo agendas, they have little time for planning. They just take life as it comes. Many think of planning as an optional exercise with marginal practical value. Only in retrospect do they see the negative consequences of not planning. This applies especially to long-range planning, and by that I mean 3 to 5 years. Annual plans are a commitment. This we will do. They leave no place for dream, to imagine what can and should be, to ask what we want to become. Effective organizations have both, an annual plan and a long-range plan. This gives them both a present and a future relevancy. A second frequently neglected board duty is evaluation. Many directors assume mistakenly that activity translates into outcomes. Not necessarily. Some efforts are a total waste. They may even be negative. Unless serious systematic evaluation is taking place, sloth becomes part of an organization's culture. A board has a right, indeed it has a need to ask, did it make any difference? A school board should know the SAT scores of its graduates. Habitat boards should know how many houses were built and if the families are living better. Mennonite Central Committee should know if its food shipments made a difference. The test, I repeat, is not activity. People are busy. It is outcomes. Did the effort make a difference?
That's the end of Chapter 2, Duties of a Board. Let's do some more review by considering the following statements. True or false? There are too many things over which we have no control. As directors, we just need to do our best every day to make the world a better place. and therefore planning is optional. That's false. Planning is essential. Boards plan their work and then they work their plan. It's through planning that organizations influence their future. Next, true or false? Board members should always be involved in planning, right down to the daily details that are so essential to success. The correct answer here is false. Yes, a board is responsible to do board planning, and yes, details are important, but the day-to-day details are delegated to staff. Now, according to Edgar, the board owes its CEO 3 things. Which of the following is not one of them? A job description. B, an annual performance evaluation. C, respect. Or D, support. If you answered C, respect, you were right. A board does not owe its CEO respect. Respect is something that should be earned. Edgar also spoke about ledger and non-ledger resources. Fill in the last word of this sentence. Ledger resources refer to money and what? And let me repeat that for you. Ledger resources refer to money and what? If you answered property, you answered correctly. Ledger resources typically refer to money and property. Now try this one. Non-ledger resources refer to staff and what? Now again, let me repeat it. Non-ledger resources refer to staff and what? If you answered image or reputation, you answered correctly. Non-ledger resources usually refer to staff and image or reputation. Finally, which of the following is not something the board evaluates? Again, which of the following is not something the board evaluates? A, itself. B, the employees. C, the program. Or D, the CEO. If you chose B, the employees, you were correct. The only staff member a board should evaluate is its CEO. The CEO is responsible to evaluate all of the other staff members.